Hello everyone. Firstly, hats off to the Indian Army and the armed forces and the Indian government. Most of you know today in the early morning, the central government and the Indian armed forces started an operation called Operation Sindoor, which is a retaliation act for the Pahalgam attack which happened, and then it's a devastating instance and which took the lives of 26 people plus, and then so it's a very devastating, and it happened on Indian soil and took 26 plus Indian lives. So that's why they wanted to do a retaliation, and then today in the early morning at 1:30 around, they made this attack. So this clearly shows that, no, see, Indian army or Indian government doesn't tolerate any terrorist attack or terrorism across India or anywhere to the Indian citizen. It should not happen. And then they made a clear statement again, like they don't want to no disturb any of the Indians. That's why today morning they wanted to do a mock drill across India, and then early in the morning, so that no Indian children should not get panicked. And in the early hours they made this attack, and then it is nine places they did this attack. So it's in POK and in Pakistan. So and then we get surprised why they attacked in Pakistan, and then most of the groups are in POK. And today, the terrorist groups which they came, and I know that the Indian government or Indian army is going to attack them on them. Then they moved on from POK to Pakistan. So as well, no Indian government doesn't want to no get this impacted by any of the Pakistan citizens or any other civilians. They did this attack only on the terrorist groups which they are staying, and with the intelligence they had, and then they did this on this nine places, which is no in POK and in Pakistan. Only the terror groups they did an attack. So this shows the clear humanitarian grounds of Indian people and Indian army, armed forces, and the government. They wanted to bring justice, not by taking an action, foolish action. They took a very strategical move, tactical move, it will say that, so that not the citizens of India is getting panicked, so that they took early hours in the morning, and then so they are preparing everyone for a mock drill, so to brace the impact of it if something is going to happen. And then our naval force, army and air force, everything, everyone is ready, and then they are taking care of the Indian citizens and in the borders. So air force are doing it into covering all the air base to look at to retaliate if something is being happen. They took any action, and the naval forces are being ready across all the borders from the Punjab, the starting border to the end of the West Bengal. They're looking at in every place, and then they are making. They make the citizens of India very safe. This one, we have to say again, hats off to Indian armed forces. It can be of Navy, Army, and then Air Force. So they make our lives very simple and easy, so that we don't get panicked for any of the action which is being happened. And a lot of governments in India, there are different states, and then states are calling for an meeting for an action, if something, how to retaliate and how to take the necessary actions when this kind of situation is happening. And then in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, and everywhere, the governments are taking connecting over there, and then they're discussing how they can proceed at this kind of situation. And today, we have to the reason why they kept this operation as Sindoor is they took a lot of husbands, and then it's an marital status for most of the Hindu citizens, keeping a Sindoor here, and then to show their marital status. And then they took the life of our Indian Navy officers and couple of folks, and then they took the husband of couple ladies of Indian citizens. So that's why they named it as an Sindoor. So it's like it's a, no, we are taking a clear justification which has happened, and then it should not happen, but it unfortunate incident happened. And then for that reason, we have to retaliate, and we have to show that we don't tolerate any of the terrorist activity in Indian soil or to any Indian citizen across the world. And then this, today at 2:20 a.m., Indian Army has posted as justice is served, and it's a truly justice is served. And then that's a clear statement again to all the countries, so that they cannot come just simply and then make any bold decisions or they take any moves. So India is ready to strike at anywhere at any point, and not in an Indian soil. It is clearly of their soil itself. And then today they have planned a mock drill for most of the states in India, so that every people has to be ready with this. And then today we have to appreciate the Agnivir, which is an activity which is being started by central government. So it's an like see, when this happened, a lot of people are criticizing like no why people has to go in India. It's not in India like no any country like a lot of countries. It can be of Singapore, Israel, any other countries, right? So every citizen has to serve in the army. See, it is not that like no, I do something over there or like no, it's like you have to be there for your country, you have to be there for your family, you have to be there for your neighbors, you have to be there for every time. Like no, you should know, you should understand like no, when something is happening, how to respond to this kind of accident incidents. So let's take example of Pahalgam attack, right? If a lot of people, everyone, and they are trained and they know how to retaliate in this kind of situation. A lot of people they could have like no strike them, they could have holded that the terror group over there itself. So that's where like I request Indian government to make it as a mandatory for every citizen. It can be of any age. Like now also they can like make it as a 100% impose, so that every citizen of India should be in like should serve in an army at least 2 years, so that so everyone is prepared for any kind of action. Like everyone is trying for it. So like I request the Indian government to make this as a stringent action, so that like no not like no interested people, it should be a mandatory action, so that every Indian should go for this. So anyway, like not it can be of any name. I don't like I'm pointing it out. That's like no fantastic activity which is done by the Indian government uprising this one. And then hats off to our army, like no Navy and then Air Force, like no armed forces together, right? And then Indian government which like no took a strategical move to the direction of like no do a mock drill and then they hit it, so that everyone is ready for the impact. So so hats off for everyone. And then I see a lot of positive impact from the other political parties. They are not politicizing this one. So like no something has happened, okay, take this as into account and then we do politicalize. But like unfortunately that is not happening, and this is a good sign for every Indian and every Indian citizen. So like this is my view, and like you can express your views, and Jai Hind.